Thank you. A significant part of my early education took place in the alleyway behind my house on 77th Road in a gritty part of Queens. And the faculty there were basically guys 4 or 5 years older than me, guys like Phil Caruso and Saul Corrine, hung out in the alleyway. And I learned a lot of important stuff from them, including about the birds and the bees. And when I hit early puberty and the hormones were running wild, and you get a lot of spontaneous erections, and those days I found it perplexing. At my age, I consider them now the glory days. But I went to them for advice. I said, "Listen, what do you do to prevent an unwanted hard-on?" And they said, "Well, think of ambulances, think of deathbeds, think of hospitals." So now I'm in my late 20s. I'm married to a woman who 6 months earlier had graduated from medical school and decided she wanted to be a neurosurgeon. And she's embarking upon a grueling 7-year residency. And she's 6 months into it at the time. And she later became known as a talented surgeon with skilled hands who was able to achieve good outcomes. And her residency program had an academic orientation to it, which meant that the year after your internship, you had to do a year of research so you could establish, if you wanted to become a professor or a researcher, you could establish a track record, you could carve out a niche for yourself, get publications going in the academic context. She didn't want to do that. So we looked upon that year as just a great opportunity to start a family. And we decided, that would be the best time to have a kid would be in September. So my wife has certain obsessive tendencies, which is probably what you want in a neurosurgeon. She spent a lot of time, taking her temperature, doing the ovulation, in order to divine the most appropriate moment for conception. So in the middle of the night, I get a call. She's in a 48-hour in-hospital shift, and says to me, "It's time. You got to come right over." So I get to the hospital, and I go in through the emergency room entrance, ambulances all over the place. And we're in a room with a bed, and I said to her, I feel the bed it's warm. I said to her, "How did this bed become available?" She said, "Guy probably died in here, So I look up, I feel it's still warm. I say to her, she said, "I made a mistake. He didn't die. He got better. He left. He took his family to Disneyland." Is what she says to me. And so then she says to me, "Listen, I got to talk to somebody down the hall. Get yourself started." So now I'm thinking, okay, I'm in the hospital, surrounded by ambulances on a deathbed. What would Phil Caruso do? And the irony was not lost upon me, but I really didn't have time to savor it. Instead, I'm thinking to myself, I got to perform right now. I got to do it, And I needed to give myself some comfort. So I said to myself, my wife and I love each other. We know why we're doing this. We're sexually compatible. She'll be patient with me. We'll do it long. We'll do it slow. We'll make beautiful love. We'll do it right. She comes back in the room and says, "They need the room right away. We got to hurry." Okay. So just put it like this. When you put yourself in the skilled hands of a talented surgeon, you're going to get a beneficial outcome. Okay? And we got our September child. Thank you.